Hello, my name is Andrew Imbesi, and over the past year, I've been able to help over 150 normal, everyday people obtain $50,000 to over $150,000 of 0% interest funding. And this is despite everything that is happening now with all the craziness and volatility in the economy, with inflation rates going up, interest rates going up, and so on, including fears of a recession approaching us. And when I say 0% interest funding, I'm literally talking about free money without interest that the banks are offering so that you can fund your businesses and investments without having to pay any interest during a promotional period of usually more or less than a year or so. And access to this kind of funding, it does not require a lot of time to get. You don't need to even put up collateral or money to obtain it either, or even pay interest to investors or companies to help you access it, or even have an already established business too. All you need is a 670 plus credit score. Just to show you how easy it is to obtain 0% interest funding, even during these volatile economic times, Austin, for example, was able to access $228,000 of 0% interest business credit in less than 2 weeks of incorporating his brand new LLC. And there are hundreds of others I've been able to work with, including myself, who are doing the same exact thing with extremely little effort required. And as a result of obtaining huge amounts of 0% interest funding, many of my clients have been able to quit their jobs, do nothing if they so desire, and go to the beach, sip margaritas, all while enjoying financial freedom. All while others have been able to enjoy automated streams of income for themselves, their loved ones, no matter what happens with the economy. 0% interest funding can actually serve to provide you with a primary or secondary stream of income that keeps you and your loved ones financially secure. It's remarkable all the things you could actually do with this kind of money. For example, someone I worked with named Bill was approved for over $117,000 of 0% interest funding over 6 months ago and has been able to double his investment, sitting on $250,000 of cash now through a passive income asset. And now with over $20,000 to $30,000 a month coming in for him now, all of that is being deposited into his bank account while working only 5 minutes per week. You could just imagine all the things Bill can do with that kind of profit he secured through leveraging 0% interest credit cards. To invest this kind of money, it would take forever with a 9-to-5 job. Instead, you could use 0% interest funding to quit your job, retire your wife, do all the things you dreamt of experiencing, and now because you have the money to spend. And to be honest with you, this opportunity may not last forever. You want to take advantage of this before it's not around anymore and before things get really bad in the economy. Because I'm sure you've all seen the news that interest rates are rising and we soon may face a recession, which means 0% interest funding is going to become much more difficult to access, with all the banks going to reduce their own risk by lending less 0% interest funding. You don't want to be late. You want to take action and set up financial security now while 0% interest funding exists, because if you wait too long, these automated streams of income will become much harder to get into and fund once the recession comes around. You don't want to be like everyone else, pinching for pennies, risk losing your job, and have no funding available to you. If you're here at this workshop, that means it's not too late. You could still take advantage of this funding strategy to create substantial passive income, but the open door to opportunity will soon close. There's an enormous opportunity to obtain funding and maximize profits with passive income investments if you so desire, without needing any of your own money to start, and are savvy enough of a person to tap into the easily accessible 0% interest funding that banks are offering. And everyday people are wildly profiting. So if you are looking to gain access to 0% interest funding and turning that into 10x plus returns with passive income investments, this is 100% for you. Because the truth is that if you could gain access to 0% interest funding, there is nothing stopping you from making profitable returns with passive income investments in the next 30 to 60 days. And in case you are wondering now, there's absolutely nothing to buy at the end of this workshop. So you could put your credit card away and focus on the workshop and take notes, because this workshop is arguably going to be one of the most important workshops that you attend all year. If you stick to the end, I'm going to give you away 2 free resources that you can actually walk away with today from being part of this workshop that are going to tremendously help you capitalize on this opportunity. The first thing I'm going to give you is a blueprint explaining how 0% interest funding works and how you could take advantage of this strategy to obtain 0% interest funding. This will lay out the path for you so that you could start taking action on 0% interest funding and how it can be used. And number two, if you are someone who knows that you want to obtain 0% interest funding or wants to make passive income, and you're not sure what you would use 0% interest funding for yet, I will give you an application to join an investment network of verified business owners and opportunities. These are people that I've personally been able to work with over the past 2 years who offer real and reliable investment opportunities and deliver the best results and predictable returns on investment. Now, these are not opportunities that only wind up wasting your time and money and lead you nowhere, but are carefully selected and predictable investment routes. Not only am I invested in these, but my current clients are also generating passive returns on investment with these too. And because I've carefully selected a few opportunities out of hundreds that you see online over the past 2 years being in this space, this will be better than anywhere else you can invest your money or 0% interest funding. And so now that you know a little bit about 0% interest funding, you are probably starting to realize that this is a massive opportunity. You see all these online investment opportunities popping up with people making great money and enjoying time freedom. And there's a major difference between watching others invest and profiting from investments yourself. Wouldn't you agree? And that's when I decided to join the party. I began using 0% interest funding with my investments, and I was able to change my living situation and create more income than what I was making previously, all within just a few months of getting started. It's the reason why myself and all of my partners have been able to see incredible results so quickly. It's all thanks to this golden discovery: 0% interest funding and an established network of real investment opportunities. And you're probably wondering this whole time as well, like, what the heck is 0% interest funding? And really what it is, it's the introductory rate for select personal and business credit cards. And many of the wealthiest investors in the world have been able to take advantage of this investment strategy, which I'll explain further in a minute for you, by carrying a balance with no interest for 6 to 24 months, depending on where you apply, and pay your balance owed over time. And really, as long as you pay the minimum payments, which normally are 1% of the total balance owed, you continue to have 0% interest during that introductory period. And this provides us investors plenty of time and resources to generate large return on investment without limiting ourselves to the time and capital we presently have available. Because if you have little amounts of resources, it'll be difficult to experience the big returns you are looking for. But with having more resources, the returns you are looking for are a lot more likely. And this is exactly what I did when I didn't have the money to invest in profitable ventures that paid off, as I discussed earlier. So here are some examples of 0% interest funding, and there are plenty of more cards than just this. There are personal cards and business cards. Each carry their own benefits. And I want to cover this fast for any of you that are skeptical out there, because factually, credit cards are a great tool when they're used correctly. There is a huge difference between good debt and bad debt. And you may have heard wealthy people say this but once before. And when I was starting out, I didn't really understand this either, because I'd been so accustomed to investing my hard-earned cash in my investments my whole life. I had never done anything like this, and no one ever taught me this investment strategy due to the fact I was the only entrepreneur I knew out of my family and friends. And that's when I realized that I had to start thinking like an investor, because that's ultimately what I aspired to become. I had to develop a greater thought process that was outside the knowledge of the people around me and figure out, how did the wealthy actually become wealthy? And that's when I discovered this mind-blowing fact. I learned that the wealthiest investors in the world, like Warren Buffett, were taking advantage of this method to maximize their profits and accelerate their growth much faster with smaller risk. And that's when I realized how powerful this strategy actually is, because the wealthy were not using credit cards for everyday purchases, but were using 0% interest funding to their advantage to capitalize and maximize their profits faster than the average person, and do this responsibly on good investments to make more money, elevating to a higher status than the average investor. And when I realized how to take advantage of this, I started being approved for super high limits. And these aren't even the highest limits I've been approved for. These are just some I have been approved for to use 0% interest funding and create profitable investment opportunities without risking hard-earned cash, without wasting time on smaller investments that banked me small returns, and without having to wait to save just enough cash, which is exactly why 0% interest funding is the perfect fit for maximizing investments. Because the truth is, it takes big money to make big money. And if you have more money, you can make more money, compared to the alternative of risking hard-earned cash or paying high interest on loans or wasting time saving money, because the wealthiest investors in the world don't allow any of these kinds of alternatives to stand in the way of making the returns that they want to make. The wealthiest investors in the world were able to elevate to that higher status and accelerate and increase their income and success by using 0% interest funding. And as I learned more, I eventually began to realize that most normal everyday people were not getting what they wanted, wasting their hard-earned dollars, and were given no clear direction on where to go. And this was super disheartening to me, because I was able to actually witness this firsthand being in the industry for over 18 months. I noticed this to not only be true for me when I was first getting started with the poor investments that I made, but many other people I learned to meet on the internet after taking tons of phone calls, which highlighted a huge difference between the people that were struggling and the people that were winning, was that very few actually have the opportunity to obtain the proper mentorship or really do have the spare capital to scale. While those that don't have the capital were able to turn to 0% interest funding like myself, all while the business owners of those opportunities were selling a dream with their profits, having more money than they know what to do with, having more time than they know what to do with, creating the dispensable cash flow to afford the fancy homes and the cars if you're into that kind of stuff. But most importantly, achieve the actual freedom to do whatever they want, whenever they want. And through my own personal experience, the people that did receive the proper mentorship or had the spare capital to maximize their profits were really the only ones winning. And I hate to use myself as an example, but when I was able to figure this out, and through making these investments myself in the past year, I found ways to change my living situation and make nothing less than 6 or 7 figures a year with my investments for decades to come. And I decided to do this because I realized I did not want to have to go through the struggles of having to worry about money. So look, you're not here just to see other people's results or failures. I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same for yourself, even if you don't have an investment opportunity to pursue yet. And just as I said before, if you stick to the end, I'll give you the resources that will actually help you with all of this. So let's jump right in so you can actually start doing this. So the first key I want to share with you, before I get into that, I want to talk about the old way, because the old way consists of risking hard-earned cash and continuously wasting time saving cash to spend. And when I started out, I learned this the hard way. I didn't have much success. I wasted my savings of over $10,000 on many opportunities that didn't work and wound up broke. The old way also consisted of, which is not ideal, paying high interest on loans. And there are ways now where you can save and obtain much more capital, especially with the new way, 0% interest funding, which offers a quick and inexpensive route to increased income and success with very low minimum payments and the opportunity to obtain high amounts of funding. So first and foremost, the most important thing here before we even get started with any kind of 0% interest funding is understanding what to do before applying for 0% interest funding, because this is going to allow you to avoid most pitfalls that people endure. And because understanding about how to go about obtaining 0% interest funding, this will allow access to greater amounts of 0% interest funding to invest and shortcut to the dream life you are eager to get to. You won't have to rely on spending hard-earned cash or paying high interest on a loan or wasting time waiting for the capital to invest. And just like in my personal examples I've shown you so far, this is what I was able to do. So the first key here, before getting started with any of this, is polishing your credit profile and understanding the proper steps to take before applying. And many people believe that you must have perfect credit to acquire 0% interest funding, but really you just need it to be good enough and as great as possible, which is why this is the first step for everyone, even applicants with perfect scores. There will be things you need to polish and check on. So that way you could actually get the best results possible and achieve the end result you are looking for. Because truthfully, you can do more with better. And the better your profile is, the more you can grow and expand. Many people don't know this, so oftentimes they ruin their chances of getting as much as possible and go about polishing credit or applying for credit incorrectly. So it's important to have all these ducks in a row in the beginning, because if you don't, you'll suffer the consequences and will have a hard time getting the results you are really looking for, which leads me to a bonus tip I can give you called credit seeking. Because on one hand, it's certainly important to polish your profile, as this is going to be the most important thing to do first and will increase your chances of 0% interest funding tremendously. But if you don't know the rules for applying, you'll absolutely ruin your chances of getting what you truly need. And when we start applying, and say we start applying for a high amount of cards and attempt to obtain the most we possibly can obtain for a business venture or investment, the institutions will begin to notice that we are credit seeking, and they will look into your credit reports and see recent hard inquiries, recent applications, and if your profile doesn't meet the bank's approval requirements and you apply to the wrong places, or you apply to the banks in the wrong order, or you have too many recent hard inquiries, it can completely ruin the cycle, costing you thousands, tens of thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of dollars in 0% interest funding. So it's better to understand the best ways to polish and plan ahead before applying, because a major benefit that arises before you dive into an investment opportunity is not having to become stagnant and waiting for the right moment, or wasting cash when better funding options exist, like 0% interest funding. Take a look at my example. I could have either waited to build the cash or decided to actually have what I wanted right then and there. And who knows if all of this would have happened if I had not taken that jump right then and there when I was presented with the opportunity. I probably wouldn't have made it this far if it weren't for this discovery. And this leads to the question, why don't most people know this hack with 0% interest funding? Because to be honest, I didn't learn this in high school or college. I had to learn it on my own. And what I have observed in my life is that most people weren't previously aware that 0% interest funding can be used to grow a business or a venture or an investment. But even if you were already aware of 0% interest funding, most people are not certain about the opportunities they invest in either. And even if the opportunities were certain, everyone would be dumping their life savings or 0% interest funding into them. And not everyone has excess funding just laying around. But when you do find something certain, 0% interest funding can give you shortcuts to outstanding returns on investment. This is why most people don't need to wait for the right moment or having the capital to start. People need guidance, because with proper guidance, you won't need to worry about the pains or the pitfalls. You can have credible experts ready at your disposal that can guide you, that have verified turnkey automated opportunities. So you're not gambling things that may or may not work, because saving time and money will cost you this much. You can either struggle just like how I did, or use a method that provides you predictable returns. Because having unlimited capital at 0% interest and verified turnkey automated opportunities can help you. And I know your situation is unique, which is why if you stick to the end, I will be giving you 2 important tools you'll be able to walk away with and start using to increase your chances of desired success. So key number 2, the old way of opportunity attainment I want to discuss with you first, is finding turnkey opportunities on your own. And as I said before, I learned this the hard way. I didn't have much success nor guidance. I wasted my savings of over $10,000 on many opportunities that didn't work and wound up broke. And it wasn't until I discovered the new way of opportunity attainment, which was joining an established network, because your network is your net worth. But many people still try to figure this out on their own. People who go their own route normally take a longer time and struggle versus having an already established network at their disposal. Take me, for example. It took me forever, and I was continuously struggling when I was doing things on my own. And it wasn't just me, like I mentioned before. I was able to witness this firsthand being in the industry for over 18 months. I noticed this to be not only true for me and the poor investments that I made, but many other people I talked to on the phone, I learned to meet on the internet, which highlighted the huge difference between the people that were struggling and the people that were winning is that the most successful people out there were applying key number 2, plugging into a network that's already established, because it's all about the end result. And now I want to show you the ways I've been able to plug into networks and how I can help you find networks too by showing you these tips and examples. So here is one of my partners, for example. I was able to meet him over the past year, and he's not only done over $300 million in e-commerce sales online, but has also stated that his company has never made less than a 2.5x return on an investment over a 90-day period for his clients. And when you compare this to investing in a stock, which option would you truly rather invest in? And here's another one of my partners who I've been able to meet, and he's able to maximize YouTube passive incomes to over $35,000 a month and even over 93 million channel views in a single month. And I was able to connect with such industry powerhouses because I learned to love established networks, because the work was already done for me. And it's impossible to fail with guidance and a network of people that already use systems that work and plug into the turnkey opportunities that are already profitable and proven to work with verified business owners. There's very little risk, it's easy to get into, and it's effortless to scale and maximize your profits with. The biggest tips that I can give you when it comes to creating a network, if you choose to do that on your own, is find out who's in your network. What can they give you? What do we know about the reliable network? What do we know about the offer and results? But at the end of the day, while all of this is super important, the easiest way to succeed is to plug in with a reliable mentor who already has a network. And when I first started, I knew none of this. I just wasted all my money until I found something that worked, like I mentioned before. You don't need to continue struggling to find something, trying over and over, just like I did. You don't need to wait for the right moment, because the sooner you can start expanding, the more and better opportunities you will find. And experience creates experience. And experience allowed me to move into a new future where I was able to put in the work and create an indestructible network over the past 18 months. And this brings me to my final key, key number 3, how to guarantee success with 0% interest funding and a proven network. Because the truth is, most people don't know how to do and find all of this stuff on their own. You're forced to rely on hours of guesswork, which costs thousands of dollars. And without guidance, it's all guesswork and will lead to more expensive and lesser results. And I know this personally because it's been expensive and less for me. I've gone this route, and I could tell you that none of this stuff is truly fun to do when you're struggling. But with insight, we can avoid mistakes and pitfalls that many face by doing something that works with experts, learning and applying the things that experts already know. The first insight that I'm going to give you is to evaluate your current situation. Polish your profile and create a golden list of institutions to apply for. Improve your situation as much as possible and know the rules. Do this with a guide instead of just trying on your own where there's hoping and guessing. Depend on experts to do the heavy lifting for you. The second insight, join a proven network. This is not only staying away from what's fake, but finding what is real and holding on to it. Avoid figuring things out on your own and avoid wasting time and money. Invest in reliable opportunities. And a great way to find real is to investigate Facebook and Instagram profiles. Uncover real profiles and success stories. Seek out the offer. Search for client reviews while being mindful of good and bad customers. And what do I mean by this? Is the review that you find from someone who quit, or is the review from someone who genuinely went through the process? Does the profile of the expert actually match up with what is being offered? The reason why many people I worked with were successful is because we spotted these kinds of things I just listed in the opportunities pursued. And all of this is nothing short of what I truly went through online finding investments that actually worked. So look, if your goal is to expedite time and profits from turnkey automated opportunities, you must have these three things. The first thing you must have is access to 0% interest funding that gives you high limits. The second thing, a proven network of people that deliver outstanding results. And finally, you must have the knowledge of how to prepare, plug in, and make it there. Because when you have these three things, you will be able to have what most people desperately want, but will never get, which is a proven, predictable system for making an incredible living with great finances, networks, and opportunities. Just like myself and many fellow investors I've been able to meet and learn from over the past 18 months. So now I present you with two options. The first option, you can do all of this by yourself and go through all the trouble I went through in the beginning, all the guesswork, all the pitfalls, all the money and time I wasted and mistakes I made that set me further back and miss out on all the good opportunities and investments I wanted to be a part of, and especially the moments I missed out on with family and friends in my life that I can't go back in time for to get back. Or you can avoid all of that trouble and go with option number two, where you shortcut your success with me and join my guidance and network. So if that interests you and it's an opportunity you'd like to take us up on, I'd like to invite you now to click below to apply for your free invitation to join my network on a 0% interest funding and opportunity attainment road mapping session, where we will map out a viable blueprint for you so that you can actually take the right steps to get to the end destination you are looking to get to. Because you and your situation are unique. And if I'm able to learn about your unique situation, I'd 100% be able to determine the quickest and easiest path for you to hit your goals. And during this session, what we will discuss are any ideas you have in regards to where you see yourself going as an investor over the next 3, 6, and 12 plus months and so on. And we'll also discuss your current profile and situation so we could determine what the next best steps for you really are. We'll also discuss what your current estimated timelines for 0% interest funding really are, and also what your estimated timelines for opportunity attainment really are. And if you decide you'd like to join our mentorship and network, given that your profile and situation is a good fit with us, whether or not we are absolutely positive we can help get the results for you if you want to work with us. And we take this stuff extremely seriously with a client and only work with people we are absolutely positive with no doubts we can actually help them. So I want to go over who this road mapping session really is for. It's for people that want help obtaining as much abundant 0% interest funding as quickly as possible. It's for people who want help plugging into a reliable network of proven business owners with proven results. For people who want a shortcut with as little risk as possible, someone who does not have the time or interest stumbling through months of complex, expensive guesswork, trying to figure all of this out on their own. And for someone who wants personalized one-on-one mentorship from someone who has not only done it themselves, but has helped plenty of others do it using a proven system. But on the other hand, I want to explain who this road mapping session is not for if you fall into the following categories. And the first 2 points kind of tie together. Number one, you are completely broke. I'm sorry. This process does require money, and it's not going to be for you if you have no source of income. And the reason because of this is because you must have income to be approved for high limits of 0% interest funding. It's going to be very difficult to actually get this for you if you have no source of income. And if you're a person where not even credit repair services can fix your credit score, it's going to be very difficult to get you the funding as well. And if you're someone who wants something for nothing, it's just not going to work out because you must have skin in the game when it comes to investing. How do you expect to have a profitable business venture if you are unwilling to invest in yourself or the venture? If you're someone who likes to make excuses and complain, we probably won't get along. And If you're still stuck in information gathering mode and are not ready to actually start getting the results for yourself, it probably won't work out. And this is something that we might be able to help you sort out if you're still in information gathering mode. We can discuss that on the call. But if you know that you're going to remain there in that stage, then go back to YouTube and consume social media if so, because this is going to be meant for people who want to start making real money and get off the sidelines. This is for two types of people. You are either someone who wants to start making money through turnkey and automated opportunities using 0% interest funding, but don't know where to start, or you've already been trying this, but are looking for better guidance for 0% interest funding and a greater network of turnkey and automated opportunities that have greater income potential. And what I want you to do next, if you believe you're a good fit for this, is click the link below to apply and fill out the application. It only takes 2 minutes, and select a time to speak with my team and I, because on that one-on-one call, what we will discuss are what your goals are, right? What the next steps will be to approach your situation, and how we will help you obtain 0% interest funding and turnkey automated opportunities with 6 and 7+ figure a year income potential from your investments in as little as 30 days. And if and only if we are 100% positive we can help you hit your goals, we'll provide you with a customized game plan of how we'd help you get there as quickly as possible. This is super, super important, this next point, because the truth is spots are filling up and we can't help everyone. We only host this workshop when we are looking for 10 to 20 hungry, ambitious clients who want to make a serious income and impact through helping them acquire 0% interest funding correctly and plugging them into verified opportunities. And if that's you, click the button below and fill out the application and book a call to speak with us, because worst case scenario, this call is 100% free, right? And even if we can't help you, I'll tell you exactly what I would do if I was in your situation to achieve your desired goal. You won't be forced to join our program, because if it was forceful, it probably is not a good fit. The call is designed to provide you value. Basically, you're going to be getting free insights from someone who's maximized profits of 6 and 7-figure business ventures in the past year using 0% interest funding and turnkey opportunities to maximize their investments. But the best case scenario, we can 100% help you, and we'll invite you to work one-on-one with us, taking you through the steps to acquire 0% interest funding, then routing you to our opportunities, working with you until you are fully in shape and ready to go into your next opportunity with one of our network partners. Sounds like a crazy opportunity, but we take this stuff super seriously. Working with our clients one-on-one until they get the results is our #1 priority. So during this call, we will go over the exact roadmap my clients and I have taken to achieve outstanding results. Just like Kyle, for example, where in 2021 was the first year he ever broke 6 figures while quitting a grocery store job. Now he invests his money in passive income, making 10% plus returns each month. Or people like Braxton, who's making over $10,000 a month, managing over $200,000 in capital, and was able to position himself here through investing the funds that he got in a trading mentorship. Or even Jack, who's been able to quit his job and start his own business using creative financing, all within 2 months of getting started with us. So if you want to learn how to do these things and gain the opportunity to achieve more than you thought possible, click below to apply for your free invitation to join my network on a 0% interest funding and opportunity attainment road mapping session. I look forward to speaking with you and helping you in the next steps in your venture journey. Hey, it's great to see you on this page because if you've made it this far, that means you've made the awesome decision to book a call so that you could speak with my team and I in regard to potentially accessing 50 to over $150,000 or more 0% interest funding. That way, you could actually use that money to invest in whatever you'd like, including business opportunities and investments, which could generate you multiple five or even six-figure per month passive income. This is super exciting for you. Job well done on your end for pulling this opportunity in. And in this short video, I just want to go over some quick house rules. That way, when we do hop on this call together at your scheduled time, we're all on the same page. We set the proper scene, the proper expectations. That way, the call is most beneficial and effective for you. So, in this call, we're going to go over, all the questions that you may have on this opportunity, which the video below should answer a lot of those questions. We're also going to go over your goals and, how our entire process works, everything like that. So make sure you watch this whole video in full, which is actually the first rule. Watching this whole video in full, that way, you are on the same page as us and, we have all the house rules covered and we know what to expect going into this call. So first thing, make sure that you check your email now and confirm the event yes. That way we know that you received that email invitation, that calendar link, that Zoom link. That way we know that you actually got it. And when it comes time for that scheduled meeting, that you confirm the event yes, you confirm that you're showing up, you confirm that you received all the information that's going to allow you to get into the meeting. Very important point here, we don't do no-shows. We'll put you on a permanent blacklist. It's a pretty, intense, extreme rule. However, we're going to make time out of our schedule to speak with you. We have, dozens of people, even hundreds of people that book this call with us every week. And, we really want to work with or speak with the people who are truly serious about doing this. So we're going to be willing to make time out of our schedule to speak with you. And we would expect that you also make time out of your schedule to speak with us and that we have the proper scene, that we have your full attention. We're going to put our full attention on you. So, be sure that you actually show up to that meeting. If you have to reschedule, the email that you received from us should have a link in there for you to actually reschedule the call. However, if you do not show up to the call at all, then, it shows us that maybe you're not actually serious or fit for this kind of conversation or this kind of opportunity. And, it may not make sense to actually make time for you again to speak with you. So make sure that you also bring any partners involved in your decision-making process. This way, not only you and I, but all partners and all parties involved are on the same page, right? That way we don't have to go over it again twice. You could even send them the link to this page. That way they could watch this video and the video below. That way they fully understand what this call is actually about and what ultimately is the goal and the accomplishment of the call. So someone on my team will reach out to you before the call. You should have already gotten a text saying, hey, did you receive the Zoom link? Just reply to that text yes. If you have, make sure that you do check your email. But someone on my team will reach out an hour before, a couple hours before, a day before, right? Just to confirm that you're still going to be there, that you remember the time that you did book. And that way, you have that link and that you're, ready to go at the time you scheduled. Be sure to show up in a quiet place on your computer. Zoom is installed and updated. Make sure that you download and, start kind of using Zoom if you haven't done so already. Be ready to take notes and set aside the full 45 minutes, right? This is going to be a super important call. We're going to really jump into your goals. We're going to answer all the questions that you may have on 0% interest funding and how this could actually be used to leverage this money in different business investments and opportunities. I know I've used it over and over and over again for myself and my businesses, and same with the 200 people I've actually gotten to work with in 2022. So make sure that you're in a quiet space. You have, you're in an environment where you could actually put attention and focus on the call. because we're going to be going over some very important information with you. That way you have the right expectation of what this is all about. You get all your questions answered and you fully understand this, so that way you can determine whether this is something that you actually want some help with. And finally, this is also a very important point, very unique to our opportunity and our funding strategy. Be sure that you create an account or have logged in to your Credit Karma, Experian, or MyFICO account, right? Any of the credit monitoring apps will do. Ultimately, we may ask to see your credit profile. We would maybe want to see like your payment history, that it's 100%. We would want to see what your credit utilization is, derogatory marks, credit age, so forth, all those things, inquiries, total accounts, right? We're not going to ask you for your social security number or anything like that, right? But, one of the big, key points about 0% interest funding is that you do need good enough credit to do it. It doesn't need to be perfect credit, but you do need good enough credit to actually do it. And, when we're on the Zoom call, we may ask for you to share your screen, or that you have Credit Karma or one of these credit monitoring websites open and logged into. That way we could actually, when we do ask you, hey, do you know what your credit score is? Do you know what your payment history is, right? That way you have it opened on your internet browser, and we're able to ask you those questions and get immediate answers to those things. And if we need to actually dive in there just to diagnose, take a look, make sure that you'd be able to actually do this, that it's all ready to go, it's all installed, you're logged into there, right? And we can take a look at it. So these are the house rules. These are the things that are really important in regard to, our upcoming call together. I'm really, really excited for it. Make sure that you also take a look at the video below this one. That way, you can understand the opportunity a bit better. Maybe some of your questions are already answered in that video below, and definitely looking forward to speaking with you at the scheduled time that we have together. So looking forward to our conversation and looking forward to talking to you soon. Hey there, this is Andrew and Bessie, owner and CEO of Bow Group LLC. If you're watching this video, that means you've already scheduled a time to speak with me and my team to discuss obtaining $50,000 to over $150,000 or more of 0% interest funding, or you are currently thinking about pursuing the opportunity. Either way, I wanted to put together this video just so that you have all the facts and information that you need about this opportunity to see whether it's going to be the right fit for you. Whether you want to work with us or not, or even do this entirely, all of those things I want to go over in this video just so you have all the information that you need to figure out whether this is a path that you want to go down. We aren't going to leave any stone unturned, so I really recommend setting aside the proper amount of time to go through this video entirely. That way we can hit the ground running on our call together and clear up any questions that you have. So without further ado, I'm going to jump onto my computer now, where we're going to go over all of this. So in this video, I'm going to cover how to achieve real financial freedom without the risk by utilizing 0% interest funding. That may sound like a big claim, but I will show you exactly how this is actually realistic and possible inside this video. So really what this is all about is our Freedom Funding Accelerator program. This is a program where we personally help you obtain $50,000 to over $150,000 of 0% interest funding using our done-for-you funding methods and strategies, all as long as you have a 670 plus credit score. And really what I mean by that is that you have no late payments and no derogatory marks hurting your personal credit profile. Already in this year with this program, we have helped over 150 normal everyday people acquire $50,000 to over $150,000 of 0% interest funding in less than 30 days of starting with us. Then our clients have been able to use that funding to generate $10,000 to even over $40,000 per month of active or passive income through various 6- and 7-figure per year income potential business and investment opportunities. These are opportunities that our clients have already known about, or ones we pointed them in the right direction toward within our referral partner network. As well as in this program, we'll teach you everything we know about 0% interest funding,
how to get as much free money with no interest as possible. We coach you one-on-one, as well as literally handhold you through the funding process to help you get $50,000 to over $150,000 of 0% interest funding in less than 30 days. And what this is going to allow you to do is actually build income streams that allow you to be fully hands-off, flexible, work from anywhere, be on your own schedule. It will also allow you to create financial security for yourself and loved ones without having to use your personal savings or additional investors. We want to see you live the life of your dreams and help you access the financial backing to do that. And just to make you certain that given that you decide to join this program and allow us to be part of your journey, we will personally guarantee to work one-on-one with you until you have a minimum of $100,000 of 0% interest funding. We want to make sure you aren't leaving a single penny on the table, because the more funding you have available to you, the more likely the lifestyle of your dreams can happen for you. So I also want to quickly go over and cover the things that you don't need in case you are wondering, because none of this is going to require the usual BS that you run into online, even when you're trying to start a business or investment. A funding program like this is actually going to give you a shortcut to your desired end destination much faster by implementing more elite entrepreneurial funding and investing strategies most beginners are not fully aware of. I know I wish I knew a lot of these things before I started my entrepreneurial journey, because you aren't going to need a boatload of savings to start this venture. That's the whole purpose of 0% interest funding. You can use other people's money instead, which is basically free money with no interest to capitalize on opportunities and get ahead and save tons of time and capitalize on lost income that you could be making much faster and much quicker. You also don't need existing finance knowledge. We will take care of all of that for you and walk you through how to obtain this funding and outline a funding action plan with a list of personalized lenders for you and teach you how all of this works. You also don't need to be an expert in funding or investing. We will hold you through all of that and show you what we have done for ourselves and existing clientele. You don't need to have a perfect credit score either. It doesn't need to be 800 plus. All that it is that we're looking for is that you have no late payments and no derogatory marks, because if that's the case, you're someone who could take advantage of this. Don't worry about having to create an LLC or corporation or get an EIN before hopping on the call with us either. A lot of the 0% interest funding options we do go after are business lending products. But if you do not have a business, don't worry, we'll actually help you with that as well. You also don't need an existing business or investment opportunity either to take advantage of this. Many of the people we have worked with to acquire 0% interest funding started without having an investment vehicle. We could actually introduce you to plenty of things that are already working for the hundreds of people inside this group. And even some have used this funding for home improvement, weddings, and so on. However, if you are someone who is still searching for the right investment vehicle and are not sure what to do with 0% interest funding, we will be able to refer you to vehicles that not only myself, but my existing clients are taking advantage of. So you could save time and money trying to reinvent the wheel and instead just copy and paste opportunities that are already working for people inside this group. And finally, you don't need more than 5 or 15 hours per week to work. This funding strategy does not take more than a few hours to execute. And oftentimes, most people are complete with this in just a few weeks, less than 30 days, or even same day of starting. Also, some of the investments our clients are doing do not even take more than 5 minutes per week to manage. And just to prove all of this to you, that you don't need all of these things above, and that again, my bold claim of being able to create financial freedom without the risk and access $50,000 to over $150,000 of 0% interest funding so that you can turn that into $10,000 to $40,000 per month of income is actually feasible, easy, and true. I want to introduce you to a few people that I have been able to work with. The first person here is Bill, who I think is the best example of proving this claim to be true. Bill was actually approved for over $117,000 of 0% interest credit and used that free money with no interest to invest in an investment fund that prints him 3% returns per week. You can see here that he obtained this funding in March, April. And after 21 weeks of being part of this investment fund that he joined, he was able to make over $90,000. Before working with me, he had only $9,000 in his bank account. And as of October 2022, he is sitting on over $250,000 in his bank account without even having to leave his 9-to-5 job or spend more than 5 minutes per week managing his passive income investment. That's pretty remarkable and incredible, right? And then the same thing here with Jay. He did something extremely similar to Bill, but at a smaller scale with a little bit less funding, getting approved for around $93,000, and in 4 months had made $25,000, which is a little over $6,000 per month. This allowed him to replace his 9-to-5 income, and he has not had to go back to work since January of 2022. And now he's traveling the world to Korea and Europe, and even stopped by in San Diego to meet me for a Wagyu lunch downtown. And I could spend this whole video talking about many people I've been able to work one-on-one with and how I've been able to help them get access to $50,000 to over $150,000 of 0% interest funding that they were able to use and leverage with passive income or active income streams that make them $10,000 to over $40,000 per month, replacing their 9-to-5, retiring them early, creating financial security. Just like Wade here, he has been engaging with this funding strategy now for years, worked with me just to get more information on the funding strategy. And since meeting me 6 months ago, he has added an additional $350,000 of free capital to his business for real estate investments. But I'm not going to spend this whole video going through all these success stories that you could actually scroll down and view the success stories below this video to see for yourself what many people have been able to do inside this program after you watch this video. What I do want to go over in this video is the information and facts on this opportunity so that you could see if this is a good fit for you. So you may still be wondering, what exactly is 0% interest funding? Because this concept might seem new and unheard of before, but I actually want to explain how all of this works for you. Because really all it is we're basically taking advantage of the promotional 0% APR offers given to you on personal and business credit cards, where you are able to purchase anything without having to pay interest for the first 12 months or so of owning the card. All as long as you make the minimum payment, which is oftentimes 1% to 2% of the total balance you owe. And what wealthy investors understand about that is that utilizing 0% interest funding is actually the best way of making passive income in the fastest time possible. I know this from experience because back in 2020, when I set out to create my own financial freedom and independence, I was full of myself and thought I knew what I was doing, but really had no clue, and put myself through all the same mistakes most beginner entrepreneurs make. I was working Amazon warehouse jobs and DoorDash, making a measly $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And I would constantly reinvest that money into trying to start businesses online, each time coming out broke and back on the road delivering food again. I tried starting businesses from scratch and spent all my money on courses trying to figure it out. I didn't have other entrepreneurs in my family or a close circle of friends back home to lean on and ask for advice. I was on my own and had no clue of what I was really doing. And it wasn't until I realized that the only way to get out of this 9-to-5 hamster wheel and achieve true financial security and live the life I always dreamed of, promised, and envisioned of for myself was that I actually had to surround myself with people that were already doing the things that I wanted to be doing and copy paste the methods and strategies they were using. I had to listen to and follow the philosophy that your network is your net worth, right? And fortunately, after spending all my savings and all of everything I had on courses that led me nowhere, I bumped into a mentor who was actually able to help me. And I began learning from my mistakes of trying to do everything on my own. Most importantly, when I did find that opportunity that was going to work with me, and when I ran out of money and when I was broke, I was able to turn to my credit score. This is when someone else had taught me the 0% interest funding strategy, and I got approved for $30,000. I was able to use this funding and invest into a one-on-one mentorship program I found out about and knew for certain it was going to work for me. And as opposed to having to wait a whole year to save up to take advantage of this opportunity, which at that point, the opportunity may have no longer existed anymore, I was able to take advantage of what was right in front of me being offered. Since then, I've been able to leave the 9-to-5 lifestyle and transition into a life where I'm able to live on my own terms and run my own business with no limit to the amount of income that I make. I used to work out of my parents' basement 2 years ago, worrying, how am I going to come up with $2,000 for rent at my own place? Now my rent is more than 2 times that only a year later. And I have the option to work wherever I want, sip margaritas at the beach all day if I so desire, and enjoy the benefits of financial security and the abundance of income I want to have in my life. In 2020, I was able to pull in for myself approximately $40,000 of income working Amazon warehouse and DoorDash. When I took advantage of the 0% interest funding strategy in 2021, I was able to more than double my income and make $91,000, move out of my parents' house in New Jersey to the finest city in America, San Diego, California. Now I had a true taste of living life on my own terms, not having to be dependent on a job, and was starting to create actual financial security and abundance for myself. Now in 2022, through leveraging 0% interest funding, I have now generated over $600,000 of income for myself, all of which began with the decision to leverage my credit to make money. If it weren't for 0% interest funding, I probably would still be living at home with my parents. But credit has been able to change my life because I learned how to take advantage of 0% interest funding and stopped trading time for money. I learned to start my ventures the right way, and it's crazy to think that they don't teach this stuff in school. I know I never thought credit could be used this way until I surrounded myself with other people who were having success already creating financial independence. Many people don't really think much about the 0% interest funding offers that they get in the mail either. I know I used to throw them out before I learned about this funding strategy for investments and businesses. And right now, these offers are still being sent out to you in super high volume despite this upcoming recession. The banks want to lend you money. But like I mentioned earlier, this won't last forever. If you are someone who knows that you want to create financial independence and security, then you better take advantage of this while this is still around before it's too late. Time waits for no one. You don't want to be stuck like 99% of the population watching opportunities pass you by. So when I started realizing all of this about 0% interest funding, a standout question popped up in my mind. And now you might be thinking to yourself the same thing. That's great. Now I know I can access $50,000 to $150,000 of 0% interest funding. I now see Andrew doing this and plenty of other people he has worked with doing this. But what am I going to actually do with the money? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who have the goal and desire to actually create financial security and independence, but many lack the certainty, confidence, and knowledge in regards to knowing how to actually go about doing this. I know that was me in the beginning too. In addition, the last thing someone wants is to get pulled into some BS opportunity that loses them all their funding and it doesn't work out. So what I have learned after being a successful independent venturer for over 2 years, which included many poor decisions, yet also great decisions that have led me here to this video to be sharing this information with you and connecting with hundreds of other successful independent venturers, all of us who have also made both great and poor investments. What we learned is that the easiest way to figure this out and what to do with 0% interest funding is to copy and paste a system that is already working for someone else. Follow closely in the footsteps and successful actions of people who are already winning inside of business opportunities and investments that are actually creating financial security. Create the network that builds your net worth. It was for that reason I took the opportunity I took that led me to financial independence and success. I found something where I could model and shadow someone else that was already successful, working closely one-on-one with them. So after working with over 150 different people on 0% interest funding over the last year and being in this online space for more than 2 years, personally talking to literally tens of thousands of people through Facebook groups, YouTube ads, in person, and so on, my own conversations, not my team, I've been able to discover many profitable opportunities that work and don't work, and even point others in the right direction through these experiences. So these are some of the things that actually myself and my clients are actively doing that are working for us, that include real estate like buy and flip or tax liens, long-term rentals with cash out refi options, investment funds that pay 3% per week, buying and selling businesses, YouTube channel automation, which is basically creating a faceless YouTube channel ran by overseas workers and prints you passive income, e-commerce stores, marketing agencies, investing in existing businesses that you already own, trading automation, business mentorships, coaching and consulting programs and services, trucking routes, and the list just goes on and on. This is basically a selection pool of opportunities that have already been proven to work for other people, including myself and the people I have worked with. Given that you are someone interested in these kinds of business investment models, you could actually reduce your risk with a network like this, knowing that the bad weeds have already pulled out from the garden of all opportunities that exist, and that all is left are the good weeds and flowers that flourish and produce. Joining a group of people who are already taking advantage of opportunities like the ones that you see on the screen and copying the same exact programs and opportunities that we are in, you could shortcut, saving you over 2 years of time and money spent to find these opportunities and get right to the best stuff already working for others. And all of this happened through realizing this essential and most important point. I had to surround myself with other individuals who had the same visions and goals as me. Like I mentioned before, the circle I had to previously, break back home, where I had no other independent venturers to lean on. I had to break free of that circle and create or join a new one to achieve the goals I had set out for myself and actually build the network that would increase my net worth. What started with one opportunity, now I'm left overwhelmed with the amount of quality opportunities I now have in front of me, too, through just having success in a few, but also surrounding myself with others who are successful in their own ventures as well. Because now I can copy them and they could copy me. Because just like I mentioned before through experience, that I've been able to weed out the bad opportunities and keep the good ones after so many experiences, both good and bad. And also meeting so many people who are doing things that work. Take George, for example. I had the opportunity to work with George, and he'd been running a carpet cleaning business for 15 years. He had shared with me a commercial real estate mastermind that he invested in prior to joining my program. And with no prior real estate experience at all, he bought his first commercial property, leased it up in less than 6 weeks of purchasing the property to the point where now it pays for itself. And now he's able to flip that property or cash out, refinance it, and 5x his investment all in less than 6 months on a flip, or even buy a new property with the cash out refi. This inspired me because there are so many real estate gurus out there trying to teach you how to do real estate, but you don't know what works and what does not work. However, now that I actually met someone who quickly went from having no experience in real estate to being successful with it in less than 2 months as a complete beginner, creating a potential 5x ROI opportunity for himself in less than 6 months, this gave me the knowledge, confidence, and certainty I needed to realize, wow, now I have the same opportunity myself. I can copy and paste what George did. He had the same inexperience I have currently. If I were to start and I'm seeing things go well for him, I'd only imagine with my intelligence and ability that if I were to take the same program and receive the same guidance that he was given, I could experience similar results. And this is just one of the many stories and one of the many opportunities I've been able to find through meeting tens of thousands of people online and forming this group and forming this Freedom Funding Accelerator. Because what doesn't work is reinventing the wheel or trying to do everything on your own, as I mentioned to you earlier. With my first mistakes as an independent venturer, I wasted tens of thousands of dollars very early on purchasing 40-hour courses and watching free how-to videos on YouTube, when what I really should have been doing was surrounding myself with other like-minded people, looking into one-on-one mentorships and getting personalized guidance to help me actually reach and achieve my goals by copy and pasting things those successful venturers are already doing. It took me tens of thousands of dollars to realize this, and hopefully this tip saves you tens of thousands of dollars too. I realized this when I thought back to a music production mentorship I took. I'd watched YouTube videos online for literally 6 years teaching myself music production. And when I finally decided to pull the trigger and spend $2,000 on a one-on-one 8-week mentorship, my skills and expertise reached a whole new level. And I learned way more and made even way more progress in 8 weeks than in 6 years. I'm not saying to use this money for music, unless that's how you want to use your 0% interest funding. But what I am saying is that you could save yourself tons of time and money by investing into people who are in the same shoes as you or are already doing the things that you want to be doing. It's better, especially if you personally know those people who are successful and can get in quick touch with them. Don't worry about what to invest 0% interest funding into yet. First, you need to decide for yourself and ask yourself, do I want to create financial security and independence for myself? Because if that answer is yes, then now is the time to be and do the actions a successful independent venturer does so you can have the financial security and independence you desire. To put things in perspective, take the richest millionaires and billionaires in the world. Do you think that they know where their money is being invested? Probably not. They don't have time for that. Are they experts in everything they invest in? No. They have others that point them in the right direction. Also, do they worry about what to invest in? No. They worry about what could happen if they don't do anything at all with their capital, because if they do nothing, their worth is going to decrease over time, which is why they outsource and hire others to invest their money into successful investments and business models for them. One of my own personal mentors, Arthur, taught me this. He manages a $60 million private equity fund and makes millions per month trading. He also has real estate businesses in Dubai, is wanting to start a growery in Arkansas, and doesn't have the time to manage all of that by himself. He doesn't even know when a new property is bought with his own money by his real estate firm and what his returns would be. But what he does know is that if he does nothing at all with his wealth, it will slowly lose value and worth. Arthur leans on copy-paste systems and finding experts that can help him leverage his capital. Just to give you an even more ridiculous example to prove this point to be true, take Kylie Jenner, okay? This woman is a billionaire in her 20s. Many people ask themselves how she is so wealthy. Is it inherited? Is it her business? Well, let me ask this question. How is she able to sustain her wealth? Because the answer is simple. She is copy and pasting systems that are already working for others without having to be an expert in those subjects, and is just putting her money in places that are already working for others, copying investments that others are already succeeding with. One thing people with financial security and independence do have in common is that they have all realized this. Success does not come through figuring it out on your own. You can't learn how to do everything and won't be an expert at everything. It comes through investing time and money into people that you can work one-on-one with to copy and paste the systems and models that they are using to be successful yourself. Even if you do not know what to do with the funding, you could just go with the simple fact what doesn't work is reinventing the wheel and doing things on my own. But what does work is copying and pasting a system that is already working for someone else. You are going to have to take the plunge and start somewhere. It is what every independent venturer must confront and do. I tell you this because I don't want you to waste tens of thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours just like I did. Anything great is going to come through traveling outside your comfort zone. The best way to avoid potential struggles and downturns is to simply work one-on-one with people who are already doing what you want to be doing. And that's exactly what I did. And many of the people I've worked with have done to be successful. Obviously, you're going to be able now to enjoy financial independence and freedom without having to dedicate much time and energy toward a job, investment, or business. That alone has saved me tons of time and money and changed my life as well as many others. You don't need to decide where to invest 0% interest funding into now. You need to decide, do I want to have financial security and independence? And if so, where can I find successful copy and paste models to get me there and realize that by doing nothing at all, I'm missing out on income I could be making an opportunity cost. The wealthiest people in the world just copy and paste systems that are working for others, even if they are not an expert in the field they invest in. Fortunately, I've gotten to learn and know about plenty of workable models and have helped hundreds of others get involved with many of them, and it all starts with 0% interest funding. The reason why this works so well is for a number of great reasons. This is free money with no interest. This is an abundant amount of capital to start an investment for most people. You can inject an additional $50,000 to over $150,000 of capital into whatever investment you are interested in without having to pay any interest. This kind of money takes most people decades to save, which leads me to my next point, is that this funding strategy will save you so much time. As opposed to saving every dollar you make from your current source of income or being capped by income or waiting for your income to increase, you could simply access the capital needed for expansion faster. The opportunity for financial security that you would have to wait potentially 1 to 10 plus years for can happen much faster than you think in less than 30 days. This is exactly what I did. Back in 2020, when I was presented with that investment I told you about earlier, I realized I could either wait another year to save up this kind of money to take advantage of an opportunity that may not be around at that time, or I could leverage other people's money now and give myself the opportunity to change my life during the same time frame. So I realized that at the time, it would actually take to save this kind of money was going to cost me more time and money to remain in that position, and I would lose out on the income that I could be making and wasting time on a life I was tired of. This decision was the difference between me making another $40,000 in 2021 and rather doubling my income in 2021. I chose the latter, which has led me here to this video where I'm now sharing that realization and experience with you and was able to ditch a scarce and frugal lifestyle with no financial independence. Another reason why this is so great is that 0% interest funding is easily accessible. All you need is a 670 plus credit score to qualify for $50,000 to $150,000 or more of 0% interest funding. And as I showed you earlier as well, the banks are willing to lend this money to you now, with offers being sent to many people in the mail despite the upcoming recession. And finally, my most favorite reason why 0% interest funding works so well is that it allows you to capitalize on lost income. And you may be wondering to yourself when I say that, is what is lost income? And many of the wealthiest investors in the world will understand what I'm talking about when I say this. It's the lost income is the income that you are missing out on as a result of failing to capitalize on opportunities available to you. It's the amount of income you are missing out on and that you could be making. And $50,000 to $150,000 or more of additional funds allows you to capitalize on opportunities in front of you so quickly and gain increased income. So I visually want to show you what this actually looks like and compare two kinds of investors to you. The investor without 0% interest funding and the investor with 0% interest funding. The main point I'm highlighting here is the distinction of what you can do as a result of having 0% interest funding. When you have very little money and resources, there's not a whole lot that you could actually do or make with any kind of investment. But when you do have money and resources available to you, you could pretty much start any investment and actually make a significant change to your income. There should be little debate here that there is more opportunity you can have as a result of obtaining 0% interest funding, and plenty of things here that you can do with it, just for example purposes, not financial advice. With the amount of opportunities that exist that 0% interest funding can be used for, there is no point in waiting to accept free money, given the true fact that copy-paste systems exist and are widely available when you know and meet the right people. Just like the systems my clients and I have been able to find and learn about. Just like the wealthiest investors in the world, you don't need to be an expert to copy and paste systems that are already working for others. You don't need to spend time searching for them because the opportunities are right in front of you. Opportunities also don't last forever, especially funding and investment opportunities. All you need to do to achieve financial freedom and security is get your hands on as much capital as possible, just like the wealthiest investors in the world, and plug into a system that's already working for others, even without being an expert in the subject. And many of these opportunities are working right now for our existing clients, such as investment funds, e-commerce, real estate, and minimally with these kinds of models, you could potentially double your money, just like how I showed you in the prior slides. And many of our clients are not experts. They all just decide to copy what is already working for millionaires and billionaires, just like how I told you about Arthur, George, Bill, Jay, and many others before. However, if you don't do anything at all, you'll be stuck being this investor here and won't be creating financial security or independence for yourself at all. Every month you wait to not get free money is another month you are basically saying, I can put my dreams and financial security on hold. And you lose out on opportunity cost. You take my own example and many examples of my clients. In 2021, I could have chose to make another $40,000 again, or make $90,000 on my own terms. Bill could have chose to make another $50,000 again for another year, or add over $90,000 into his bank account on top of his yearly income in 21 weeks without having to spend more than 5 minutes per week managing it. Wealthy people understand this, and this is why they are so aggressive with investing, because they don't want to miss out on an opportunity that propels them into the future, into the direction they want to go in. Every month that they are not taking advantage of opportunities they are missing out on, they are losing money that they could be making. One thing that we all have in common is that we just copy and paste things that are already working for others. That's what I did in my first opportunity. That worked after running into 5 failures prior to that. That's what my clients have done. That's what the wealthiest investors in the world have done. All through one-on-one guidance without needing to be an expert at going based off the simple fact of copy and paste what is working for others and execute to achieve financial freedom and security. So just to go over this again with you, right? What is the best way to go about achieving financial freedom? Because there's a lot of BS that people are claiming online, but I just want to get right to the truth and cold hard facts of the matter and tell you, because I have done all of these methods myself. Number one, you could save and invest your money from a 9-to-5. However, this is what most people run into when that happens. The earning potential is low because you don't start with a lot of money. The risk is medium because you can maintain your current job, but you risk losing a lot of time and money. You will be spending a lot of long hours working. You'll be trading your time for money to make this happen. Just like how I told you with my DoorDash experience, I stayed in that cycle for 3 to 4 months, and I was able to break free of it in less than 1 to 2 weeks after obtaining 0% interest funding that gave me the time and opportunity to make things work. And the time for results is going to be long. With all of that I just said, you'll be spending lots of time in the hamster wheel working and not enough time focused on the right information. Second is starting a business from scratch. I'm sure you see a lot of this online, but the earning potential is still low. 96% of entrepreneurs fail. A business from scratch is almost like gluing a bunch of toothpicks together and trying to build a rocket ship, or may not blast off. And it is especially difficult if you are not sure what you are doing. The risk could also be high at this point, because you risk your savings trying to reinvent the wheel when the best way to go about creating financial freedom, as we discussed earlier, is copy and pasting systems that are working for others that involve very low risk. The time involvement for starting a business from scratch is going to be high and difficult to make time for, and will potentially take a long time to start up. So with all that said, the true best way I've seen entrepreneurs have success in creating financial freedom came through this method I'm about to share with you, is utilizing 0% interest funding into vetted opportunities, copying and pasting systems that are already working for others. The earning potential is high because you have plenty of money to start, like we covered in the previous slide, and you're actually doing something that is already producing generous cash flow for others. The risk is actually low since you are joining a vetted opportunity that is working for others. The time involvement is low because you will save time and energy just doing the things that matter and avoid wasting time on attempting to discover the answers on your own. And you could quickly achieve the results taking this shortcut. So actually enjoy real financial freedom. And like I mentioned earlier, we actually guarantee to work one-on-one with you with with our opportunity and help you get into these kinds of things as well. Make sure you have plenty of funding to do that. So let's jump into our Freedom Funding Accelerator program and how this will cover and solve everything I just talked about, and how we obtain 0% interest funding to maximize our profits, create true financial independence, and how we will help you obtain as much 0% interest funding as possible so that you can have success in being an independent venturer and an investor. The goal is certainly to create financial independence and security. So let me take you to step one on how we are actually going to help you with this and the things that we are going to cover with you in our scheduled call coming up. First things first, we are going to prepare your credit profile. That way it's fully enhanced and ready to achieve maximum approval potential for abundant 0% interest funding. Once your profile is ready, we will take you through your customized and personal funding strategy plan, your premium application sequence. This is going to be the most powerful guide that you can always rely on to target lenders properly and increase your chances of abundant 0% interest funding. We will recommend and list out places for you to apply and firmly and confidently believe that the application sequence will give you the best results. We've already helped and created hundreds of plans for others, so we know the ins and outs already, and we'll be able to teach you that as well. And once you're approved for the funding, if you qualify with the credit score required, you will have an opportunity to join a vetted referral partner network of business opportunities and investments that you could engage in at your own discretion and judgment. This includes all the copy-paste systems I was previously mentioning to you, where you'll be able to save the time and troubles of reinventing the wheel and figuring all of this out on your own by just simply plugging in with real opportunities with predictable results to get you returns better than anywhere else that you could look. This is formed through the combination of things that are already working for hundreds of successful independent ventures I have worked with, backed by years of experience, research, and results. This is optional for you to join if there is something else you know of and want to take advantage of. In this program, we are going to give you personalized one-on-one guidance and support to help you reach and get to your end destination, which is financial independence and freedom. As a result of utilizing 0% interest funding, you get custom, unique, personalized support and a plan of action to skyrocket your success. We work with you over the shoulder to supervise your funding sequence to ensure you attain the funding results that you are looking for. You also get all of our knowledge, expertise, and support, everything that we use to maximize our own 0% interest funding and opportunities. So can you to shortcut to your success. This is a copy-paste system that the wealthiest investors in the world use. Obtain 0% interest funding, then use that in the right opportunities to create financial independence. And why would all of this make sense for you to do, in case you're wondering? Well, this is free money with no interest. You'll be able to inject more capital into a successful business model, whether it's something you are already doing or something new you'd like to start. Just as explained earlier, the more money you have, the more you can do, the more you can make. This would be the opportunity to pursue before considering any others, given the fact that the more funding you have, the more you can do. You can also copy and paste something that is already working. This could be with your existing venture or with a new venture. This funding and investing strategy has been proven to work for hundreds of people that copy and paste this method, using other people's money to make money. And I can prove that and demonstrate that to you in this video and the testimonials below. And finally, this makes sense when considering timing and opportunity cost. The longer you wait, the less likely it becomes to achieve financial security and independence. You go in either two directions every day in life. You either go towards something or away from it. 0% interest funding won't last forever. Opportunities you can copy and paste don't last forever either. They're always changing. Take advantage of all of this while it's still hot. Don't allow yourself to be in the wrong end of the stick when it comes to lost income and opportunity cost. The reason why many investors stay wealthy is because they understand timing and opportunity cost and take advantage of it whenever the opportunity presents itself. It's your turn to join the 1%. Your credit score has earned you the right. All we require from you to get this going is that you are open-minded, decisive, and ready to stop sitting on the sidelines to finally start getting real results. If it's a good fit and financial independence is something that you desire, we will want to help you get rolling with this right away. You also need to be coachable, willing to learn, and seriously committed to doing what it takes to get the results you are looking for. We have helped hundreds of entrepreneurs achieve true financial independence for themselves and will be able to help you using this copy-paste system. You also are someone that understands the value of timing and opportunity costs and the importance of getting the help you need to capitalize on this generational opportunity as soon as possible. As mentioned throughout this video, with copy and paste systems available and the mindset of how wealthy investors operate, you should now understand the value of 0% interest funding, the shortcut it offers, how wealthy people invest and create financial independence without needing to be experts in everything. And finally, you must have a credit score above 670 plus to qualify and take full advantage of this. Don't worry if your score is below this. It's just an overall evaluation of your credit factors. What we ultimately care about is whether you have late payments or derogatory marks. More specifically, you must have 100% payment history, which is 0 late payments and 0 derogatory marks. If you have credit card debt, then that is okay. We can help you. And additionally, if you just applied for a bunch of credit cards before you watch this, then you may also have to wait before you can take advantage of this, but we can discuss all of those things on the call. Most importantly, if you have late payments or derogatory marks, you won't be able to qualify for 0% interest funding. Anything else negatively impacting your score will be able to help you. So very important, again, before the call, make sure that you check your email now and confirm the event yes. That way we know that you've received the link. Another thing is that we do not do no-shows. We are scheduling time out to speak with you to help you achieve true financial independence. We will respect your time, but we also expect for you to respect ours and also the other people who are also inquiring to take advantage of this opportunity. Make sure that you review this video and case studies below, success stories, so that you have a general idea of the opportunity and how we help clients. Be sure to bring any partners involved in your decision-making process so that we can actually all be on the same page together. And given that it is a good fit, we do move forward toward obtaining 0% interest funding in 30 days or less. Someone on my team will reach out to you before the call to confirm all these details with you. Be sure to show up in a quiet place on your computer, Zoom installed, updated, and ready to take notes. Set aside the full 45 minutes for the call so that we can cover everything with you. So now that we've reached the end, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video in its entirety. I am looking forward to speaking with you and working with you, given that you decide to join our unique program. Congratulations on finding this opportunity if you are seeing all of this now. There are not many things out there like this. I look forward to seeing you and helping you on the inside achieve your goals.
Hello, my name is Bill. I'm in Florida. If you're watching this video, it's most likely because you're considering working with Andrew and Bessie. To that, I would say do it. It will change your life for the better. He helped me secure over $100,000 in interest-free loans, guided me through the whole process. And he was great to work with, very friendly. And then he turned me over, gave me some good references. I interviewed with a couple people, and I chose the passive income option. A couple fellas that he knew, and they've been great, helped me the whole way.
Yo, just want to give a quick shout out to my boy, Andrew. Thank you so much for all you've done for me, man. I mean, when we first met, I was really struggling, trying to find a way to make my opportunity work outside of my 9 to 5. And without you lending your helping hand to actually help me and, pull me up, I really don't think I would have been able to push through those different obstacles and make it work. And through your guidance and experience, not only with that, but also with credit, I didn't really know much about credit or how to leverage it. And now I know I have someone that whenever I need really good advice, something that's going to put me in the right direction and also do what's best for my real financial health, I know I can turn to you because I know you got my back. And if you're thinking about whether you should work with him, just know he genuinely is passionate about credit in a way I've never seen from anyone else. and also just really genuinely helping people. And he's only going to do what's in the best interest for you, and it will actually put you on the right path to success and becoming.
Hi, my name is Lynn. I am from Riverside, California. I have been working with Andrew for 6 weeks now. I was looking for a side business for a little.
What's up? Just wanted to give a shout out to my boy Andrew. Like, dude, y'all would be crazy not to work with this guy. He is freaking awesome. Like, one of the most hardworking people I've ever met. Dude is on point with it. He's always helped me whenever I needed it, like when I was first starting out. Like, even when he didn't have the time to, he would get in the DMs with me and work it out. So, like, he taught me so much about what works and what doesn't work. So, like, y'all really need to listen up and check this dude out, bro. He's funny, he's smart, he's on point with the shit. So, check him out, all right? Love you, Andrew.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Giovanni. I want to take this time to let everybody know that investing in yourself is the best thing you can do for yourself. Andrew actually helped me fully understand that, and he even helped me with the funding to actually make that happen. And we've been working together for about like 2 months now, and I don't regret it. So I can't thank him for how much he's actually made that process really smooth. So if you want to go to the next level, definitely check him out. You won't waste your time. Take it easy.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to my good friend Andrew. When we first connected, he helped me transition out of a job I really hated, working at a grocery store. And within a year, I was able to more than double my income, break 6 figs for the first time in my life. And then he helped me get even more funding. So I started investing in a passive income opportunity that got me 10% a month. So anyways, Andrew's definitely my go-to guy, my good friend when it comes to funding. And if you're thinking about working with him, I highly recommend working with him, whether it's for transitioning out of your job, getting passive income, or just expanding your capital. He's the real deal. So if you're thinking about doing this, man, do it. It'll change your life.
Hey, my name is Jack Cantwell. I've been working with Andrew for a little bit over 2 months now, right at 2.5 months. Because of him, I've actually been able to do a lot of things that I didn't think I could do previously. The main thing really being quit my job and go after something I'm very, very passionate about and that I've wanted to do for a long time now. That really being my own business. And because of him, I was able to get creative funding and financing. So that way I was and am able to go after what I really want to do and what I'm passionate about. So because of him, I'm living the life that I've wanted to for the past 3 years now, where I'm not working for anybody else. I set my own hours. I work however I want to. There's no corporate structure telling me, oh, I have to do this or I have to, sell this a certain way. I can present myself how I dictate it fits in that situation. And also, I'm my own boss, and that's something that's really exciting for me. And I know it is for a lot of other people, all because I worked with Andrew and I was able to just come up with some creative financing and what he helped me do. So if you're thinking about working with Andrew's services, I highly recommend it.
So here's my success story. My name's Kenneth Moffitt. I'm from West Tennessee, close to Jackson. And well, I've been kind of working with Andrew for a couple months, maybe 2 or 3, somewhere around there, maybe 4 even. But where it kind of started out is he gave me an opportunity to seize everything I wanted, more time for my family, get away from my 9 to 5, be just more available, I don't have to work that 9 to 5 and everything, but he gave me that opportunity. And well, it's great. It's awesome. I I mean, he helped me with my financing to help me get that the opportunity that I'm seeking out. And well, just because of him, he's helped me himself with what I'm trying to do, and it's great. He's helped me so much just from my personal experience. But I mean, just because, well, not just because of him, but because we started out with him, I'm here now, you know? It's like, I'm from the end of this week, I'm going to start a new job. It's going to be a part-time job, but it will get me closer to where I want to be, you know? And man, I'm super excited for that. And I can't thank Andrew enough for giving me this opportunity to seize what I want. And it's very exciting. So yeah, that's my success story, and I hope everybody have a good day.